Imagine standing in a grand theater, watching a performer captivate the audience. Every movement is precise, every word carefully chosen. The crowd is mesmerized, convinced they are witnessing something real. But behind the curtain, the performer is exhausted, drained from the effort of maintaining the illusion. This is the deception of happiness. We live in a world that demands the appearance of joy. Smiling faces flood our screens, success stories dominate conversations, and those who struggle are taught to conceal their pain. The man you believe to be happy, whether he is a friend, a leader, or a public figure, understands this better than anyone. He knows that the world rewards those who radiate confidence and punishes those who admit doubt. And so he plays his role to perfection. But look closer. Happiness, when genuine, does not beg for attention. It does not need an audience. It is quiet, steady, and self-sustaining. Yet the man you admire is always performing. His laughter is just a little too loud. His victories just a little too rehearsed. He floods his life with distractions, achievements, and admirers, yet something remains unsettled. Why? Because what you see is not happiness, it is a mask, carefully crafted to protect a truth he does not dare confront. If happiness were real, why would he need to prove it? Why would he be so obsessed with being seen, validated, envied? The truth is, the more someone needs to display their joy, the more fragile it actually is. True contentment does not demand an audience. It exists regardless of who is watching. The world's greatest illusion is that happiness can be measured by external success. But happiness is not found in wealth, admiration, or applause. It is found in stillness, in freedom from the exhausting need to impress. The man you envy may seem to have everything, but if he is constantly performing, he has nothing. So the next time you look at someone and think he must be happy, question what you are really seeing. Do not mistake the performance for the truth. The strongest illusions are the ones we are most eager to believe, but illusions, no matter how perfect, always fade. Picture a man standing at the top of the world, bathed in admiration, his achievements towering over others. He smiles, speaks with confidence, and walks with the assurance of someone who has mastered life itself. You look at him and think, he has everything. But what if the very image you admire is nothing more than a carefully constructed mask? What if beneath that confident exterior lies a restless mind, burdened by the weight of his own success? The truth is, those who seem the happiest are often the ones struggling the most. The more perfect someone appears, the more likely it is that they are hiding something. The man who never shows weakness, who always wins, who seems untouched by struggle, he is not free. He is imprisoned by the image he has built, trapped in a performance that he can never abandon. The moment he lets the mask slip, the illusion shatters and he fears what will be left in its place. This is why he cannot stop. He must always be achieving, always be admired, always be on top. To slow down would mean confronting the truth, that happiness has eluded him, that he has been chasing something that cannot be caught. He surrounds himself with admirers, yet he feels alone. He wins, yet the victory is hollow. He laughs, yet he is exhausted. Why does he continue? Because the alternative terrifies him. To step away from the role he has played for so long would mean admitting that he is not as happy as he appears. It would mean facing the doubts, the emptiness, the fear of not being enough without the applause. And so he continues to smile, he continues to win, he continues to wear the mask not just for the world, but for himself. But a mask, no matter how well crafted, is still a mask. And the longer it is worn, the heavier it becomes. The burden of appearing happy is far greater than the weight of simply being. Yet few have the courage to let go. The man you envy may never break free, but you, if you see the illusion for what it is, have the chance to choose something real. He is always moving, always chasing, always reaching for the next goal, the next victory, the next fleeting moment of triumph. To the world, he looks unstoppable. A man driven by purpose, fueled by ambition, but beneath the surface something is wrong. This is not the movement of a man at peace. This is the movement of a man who is running. True contentment does not chase, it rests. It does not seek validation, it is whole on its own. But the man who appears to have it all is never still. His mind is restless, his heart unsatisfied. No matter how much he achieves, the moment he reaches a goal, another one takes its place. The applause fades too quickly. The thrill of success never lasts. He convinces himself that happiness lies just beyond the next milestone, but deep down he knows there is no finish line. If he were truly happy, why would he need to keep proving it? Why would he constantly seek more? The man who is content does not feel the need to remind the world of his success. He does not flood his life with distractions to avoid being alone with his thoughts. He does not fear stillness because stillness does not bring him discomfort. But the restless man, the one who cannot stop, he is not chasing success. He is fleeing from the emptiness that follows him wherever he goes. He may not even realize it. He tells himself that his ambition is what makes him great, that his hunger is what sets him apart, but in reality, he is a prisoner to it. The fear of stopping, of slowing down, of being alone with himself is what keeps him moving. His greatest fear is not failure, it is silence. Because in silence, there is nothing left to distract him from the truth. The world mistakes his restlessness for passion. They admire his drive, envy his achievements, and assume that his endless pursuit must be the result of deep fulfillment. But they are wrong. He is not at peace. He is running from the very thing he claims to have already found. And so he will continue, chasing, climbing, proving. But no matter how far he runs, he will never escape the truth. Happiness is not something to be pursued. It is something to be still enough to feel. Imagine standing on a stage with the world watching. The lights are blinding, the applause deafening. Every move you make is met with admiration. Every word you speak is carefully measured. You are the image of success, the embodiment of happiness, but deep inside a quiet fear lingers. What happens if, for even a moment, you stop performing? The man you envy, the one who seems so effortlessly happy, understands this fear better than anyone. He has spent years crafting his image, shaping the way others perceive him. His victories are public, his confidence unshakable. But beneath it all, there is a truth he cannot allow the world to see. Without the admiration, without the validation, he is unsure of who he really is. This is why he cannot stop. The mask must never slip, because the moment it does, the illusion shatters. He fears that if people knew the truth, that his happiness is not as real as it appears, they would turn away. And so he hides behind the applause, drowning out his doubts with endless achievement. He tells himself that as long as others believe he is happy, maybe he can convince himself of the same. But this is an exhausting game. Every success brings only temporary relief, followed by an even greater fear. What if this is the peak? What if the next moment isn't as good? He is not truly enjoying his victories. He is terrified of losing them. He does not celebrate his success. He obsesses over maintaining it. The pressure to appear happy becomes heavier with each passing day, because the higher he climbs, the further he has to fall. And so he keeps going, not because he is fulfilled, but because he is afraid. Afraid of the silence, of the stillness, of the possibility that without his achievements, without the admiration of others, he is nothing. The greatest deception is not in what he shows the world, it is in what he tells himself. He believes he is in control, that he is winning, but in truth he is trapped, because the moment you fear losing something, it owns you. And the man who lives in fear of being exposed will never know what it means to be free. He has everything: power, wealth, admiration. From the outside, his life seems perfect, a masterpiece crafted with precision. People envy him, aspire to be him, and assume that with all he has, happiness must surely follow. But here's what they don't see: the very things they believe make him free are the same things that keep him in prison. Power is not given without a price. The more he gains, the more he has to lose. Every victory raises the stakes. Every achievement comes with new expectations. What once felt like a triumph now feels like a burden, because the moment he reaches the top, he is no longer celebrated as a rising force. He is seen as someone who must defend his throne. The world does not admire kings for long. It waits for them to fall. And he knows this. Wealth, too, is not the comfort people imagine. It is not an escape. It is a responsibility, a weight that grows heavier with every dollar. The security he once thought money would bring has been replaced by paranoia. Who can he trust? Who is here for him, and who is here for what he can offer? He surrounds himself with luxury, yet none of it soothes the quiet anxiety that lingers in his mind. Admiration is the cruelest chain of all. To be loved by many is to become a prisoner to their expectations. He cannot falter, cannot express doubt, cannot allow the world to see anything but strength. The applause he once craved now feels hollow, because he knows it is conditional. The moment he stops delivering, the moment he ceases to be the man they admire, the crowd will move on. And that is the greatest fear of all. Not failure, not loss, but irrelevance. So he plays the part. He smiles, wins, and accumulates more, but with every step forward, the walls close in tighter. What he once controlled now controls him. He tells himself that this is what he wanted, what he worked for, but deep down, in the moments when he is alone, he wonders, was I freer before all of this? The world sees a man who has everything, but in reality he has far less than they think, because the moment you are defined by what you own, by what others think of you, you no longer own yourself. Imagine waking up one morning with no audience, no expectations, no one watching to judge your success or failure. Would you still do what you do? Would you still chase the same goals, still fight for the same recognition? Or would you finally allow yourself to stop, to breathe, to be? This is the question that separates illusion from reality. The man you think is happy, the one who has spent years perfecting the art of appearing fulfilled, has never stopped to ask himself this. He has been too busy proving his worth to the world, mistaking admiration for meaning, applause for joy. But what happens when the noise fades, when the crowd moves on? What is left of him then? The mistake he has made is the same mistake so many make, believing that happiness is something to be built, displayed, and measured by the reactions of others. He has spent his life creating an image of fulfillment, but an image is not a reality. It is a reflection, an empty shell that exists only as long as someone is there to see it. And so, he cannot stop. He must continue to perform, to succeed, to maintain the illusion, because to slow down would mean confronting a terrifying possibility. That without the world's validation, he does not know who he is. But real happiness does not demand to be seen. It does not require applause or recognition. It exists in silence, in the spaces where no one is watching. It is found not in proving, but in being. The man who is truly at peace does not need to announce it. He does not need to convince the world, because he has already convinced himself. This is the choice everyone must face: to chase the illusion, to endlessly pursue admiration, status, and the fleeting rush of external approval, or to step away from the game entirely, to redefine success, not by how much is achieved, but by how much is felt, not by what the world sees, but by what remains when the world is gone. The greatest victory is not to appear happy, it is to be happy, even in solitude, even in stillness, even when no one is watching, because only then is happiness real. Only then does it belong to you and no one else.